Hi, Camilla. It's been so great to have you here at the conference, and it's been very, very interesting for us to hear all about some of the things about Toronto and about Canada, about the subsidised sector or the not-for-profit sector and the commercial sector. I suppose one of the things for me that's come out of the things here today is about the importance of working together across the not-for-profit sector and the commercial sector. Can you say a bit more about why you think that's been so successful in Canada or in Toronto?
Yeah, I think that it has to do a lot with the fact that we have a shared interest, right? We all want theatre to be successful. We all want, and I think the commercial sector recognizes for the not-for-profits that does mean a level of subsidy, and that risky work that we take a gander doing can sometimes translate into astonishing success for them. So they're very invested in working with us to make sure that everybody's healthier, that everybody's more employed, that we're all working together on those same goals. So we've been able to do that. I mean, we do work on a lot of boards and committees together, and that sounds a bit sort of passive, but really we're, labor relations we do jointly, major advocacy efforts we do. We sort of sign up for the same kind of ticketing programs. In fact, that guide that I held up at the conference, that's it's heavily subsidized by the commercial sector, but it lists all the not-for-profit companies, right? Because they recognize that tourists want more than just the Jersey Boys or just a major musical, but they want diversity. So
it's interesting because there was a challenge coming from the floor today about what was the evidence for that, and I was very struck by something that you said, which is we give the commercial sector the talent and the actors, but what they give us is the audiences.
Yeah.
And I just wondered, because there was a challenge coming up from that, is there any evidence that that's
there is. I mean, in fact, the success of Toronto theatres during the early part of the 90s was that. I mean, it's sort of intangible to talk about it now, but really, when people were coming from Buffalo to see Phantom, they would turn to their concierge and say, well, we've got another night in town, what should we see? And they would be sent to the other theatres, and it really was, there were tangible proof during that time how healthy we were, and the expansion we were able to achieve during that time, right up to where we sort of had the cuts, but the amount of new companies was a reflection of that. And I know that there's a vast range of difference between the Sound of Music and the work that we do at Tarragon. It's a huge gap. But if you don't have 10,000 people a week going to Sound of Music, then 20 years from now, I'm not sure we're going to have an audience for Tarragon, right? It's not a direct correlation immediately, but you're playing the long card. You're playing the card that you're going to interest people in the arts. You're going to interest them in connecting with theatre as a medium, which, let's face it, is the most inconvenient medium of all, right? You have to show up on time. You have to sit where we tell you. You have to be quiet during it, sit in the dark with strangers, and enjoy the damn thing. I mean, it's a miracle that we get a house at all. So the fact that they're doing the really core work of building audiences and building the zeitgeist of going to the theatre, that's an acceptable way to spend your time and money, both things of which are more valuable now than they ever have been. It does have a trickle-down effect. You can't see it immediately, but I think you do see it eventually. And what will be interesting is, a lot of the success in Toronto has been around having long-running musicals that employed Toronto artists, and that's true. So when Mike talks about bringing in the West End shows, I wonder if, it's not improving the economy for Irish artists to have a Mamma Mia from the West End here, but 15 years down the line, all those people, all those kids who see Mamma Mia, who know that musical, who fall in love with the idea of going to the theatre, you sort of think they might check out Project Arts Centre, when they're ready for it.
And we might have an Indigenous commercial theatre sector in Ireland. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.